Hi again, everyone. I'm Olliemathews. This is Societal Narcissism. This video is sponsored by contribution from Jason. But before we get to the video content, please go to the description box and click on the Rumble link to this video. And I ask you please watch the Rumble version because I am monetized over there and it'll help with the growth of the channel. That being said, on to the content. I brought up this Man Talk channel in the last video, and I want to give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about these women who are thinking, they got a better deal on the other side, the dick is harder on the other side, the dick is better on the other side. I got two videos here. They're fairly short, but this woman is mind-blowing, and I'm starting with the later video first, and then we'll go back and look at the original video. These were both done by Man Talk, and he's reacting to something on TikTok. I can't find the original TikTok video, but it's very good. So let's just get into it.
Speaking with a girlfriend the other day about divorce, and she was asking me, when was one of the first signs that I knew? If you haven't watched,
this is who we're talking about, this train wreck.
That video, go back and watch the entire thing. But what that creator was saying was that she and her friend were talking about what that first moment was when you realized that you wanted to get divorced or that you were looking at your marriage in a different way. And usually it's a very small thing, but when you look back, you realize that that was the tipping point, and it made me think about my own. So I've been divorced.
Notice the SSO. They can't hide the crazy eyes. They can't hide the SSRI eyes. They can't.
A little over 5 years now, or separated and divorced a little over
5 years. She's 5 years still alone.
5 years now.
And you're still posting cringe about it on TikTok.
It's sad, isn't it?
To quote one of my subscribers, cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it.
Yep.
And about 6 months before I filed for divorce, Anthony Bourdain passed away. And if anybody knows me, there's a couple videos of me on my page where I'm wearing an Anthony Bourdain shirt.
And for everybody else who has no idea who this guy was, like I didn't, Anthony Bourdain was a celebrity chef.
Fucking shit lib liberal. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Celebrities.
Apparently, he was quite famous. But I personally had never heard of him until I saw this lady talking about him. Now back to the cringe.
I have always been a huge fan of his. I have all of his books. I always joke that he was the first relationship that I've
So you just ended up divorcing your husband over this?
ever been in.
You're kidding, right?
Stop it. Get some help.
And anybody that comes after him is just fluff. Because he was my first love.
So let me explain something to you guys.
Guys, pay attention. If you're dating or in any way romantically involved with a woman who unironically has a celebrity crush,
you will be compared to that dude for run, because you're going to be compared to that person that they've never met, they have no interaction with, but in their fantasy mind that you're going to hold you up to.
that's who she's measuring you against.
Yep.
And trust me, you'll never make the cut.
Never.
So that morning I was getting ready for work, and my ex-husband was also getting ready for work, and we're just kind of running around doing things. And then I look at my phone and I see that Anthony Bourdain died. And
could you imagine what it must be like, the histrionic roller coaster, what it must be like to be married to something like this? The constant coddling, the constant walking on eggshells, constantly.
I just had this visceral reaction. I've never had this type of reaction to a celebrity death before, but I instantly shrieked and burst.
Of course you did. Because when I remember I was 4 years old when Elvis Presley died, and my mother threw herself on the floor of the plant room and was screeching, writhing around like a child, like a little child having a temper tantrum. Me and my father come running in. What's wrong? Elvis is dead. And my father stood over her, and he's like, I don't care, that junkie scumbag. My father wanted no part like of Elvis. Like, and then started just making fun of my mother. Started doing fake heart attack. I'm Elvis. I'm dead. Stop it. And then he had me joining in. And you know what? That was the right reaction at the time. Seems harsh. Seems horrible. What was she? At that point, I'm 4. So what was this, 1976, 1977? My mother's 30 years old at the time, 29, 30 years old at the time, writhing around on the floor because her celebrity. That is exactly how you do that. You stand there and you point and you laugh and like, what is wrong with you, you fucking child? Get up.
Into tears. And one of the things that I had always felt in my marriage was that I was always too much. I needed to dial
You think you need to dial it back? You think you're too much?
dial myself down, and that my ex didn't really understand my emotional self.
Yeah, he understood. He understand you're a fucking child. That you're a fucking that you're a middle school teenager in an adult woman's body. That's what he understood.
He's very intellectual and I'm very emotional, and it was just a really bad match.
It's a bad match. He's intellectual, I'm emotional. So get 2 emotional fucking people. That'll be great. No, you just don't want to deal with logic. You don't want to deal with a non-emotional, logical person. You need somebody to coddle your emotions 24/7.
In this moment where I really wanted a partner to be supportive of me going through something,
he was being supportive of you by not feeding in to your histrionic borderline bullshit. He was absolutely doing the right thing.
You're just experiencing something and feeling that visceral reaction,
because you're an idiot. Well, you want him to, Anthony Bourdain, a celebrity chef. Like, any celebrity you shouldn't be worshiping, but like you can almost see how a musician or we're talking about a celebrity chef. What did you want him to do with that kind of information? What did you want him to do with that, honey? Oh, you poor thing, this celebrity chef who you don't know, you never met, you only watch on TV. He just cooks. What is he supposed to do with that?
If you really love somebody and you really care about them, you expect them to be like, oh my God, what's wrong? Are you okay? And at first he did say,
yeah, at first he came in and like, what's wrong? Like, even like my father, what the hell happened? Anthony Bourdain died. What do you want him to do?
What's wrong? And then when I told him, oh my God, Anthony Bourdain died, he was like, okay. And
take a pill. Take another SSRI and chill out about it.
The way he kind of just brushed my feelings aside and never really thought about the fact that he's known
because you don't feed into crazy, sweetie. You don't feed into crazy.
Me for 10 years at this
And you know what else you don't do? You don't continue to stick your dick in it.
point. He knows that that's somebody that I really care about. A celebrity. If you're in a relationship with a woman and they have somebody else they care about and they're a celebrity, get out. Get out. You're dealing with a borderline personality disordered histrionic child. That he was really trying to push my emotional reaction down because it made him uncomfortable. And it ended up leading to a fight for the rest of that morning.
How did it lead to a fight unless you instigated the fight because you didn't like his reaction? Why would it lead to a fight unless your histrionics kicked in?
Sweetie, if the roles were reversed and he just found out that his celebrity crush passed away, like, I don't know, the lady who played the Pink Power Ranger or something, and he had that visceral...
Or like, let's say, Christina Aguilera or fucking Britney when she was hot, and some hot chick. And he's writhing around, Kim Kardashian's dead. Oh, you'd be like, oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. Or would you get fucking vagina hurt? Or would you get vagina hurt and then have the same visceral reaction, and it would be the reason why your husband don't add up?
Reaction and started screeching and crying, I think you would have immediately gotten the ick, told him he's not a real man, and you would have probably filed for divorce the same day.
Just like a woman.
Yep. Well, I don't know if she would have gotten the ick. She would have gotten the borderline spiral. I think that's what you would have gotten. You would have gotten a fight either way.
But that's what I think. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
And that night, we ended up having a counseling session.
Of course.
Because we were already in marriage counseling at this point.
Of course
I brought
you
it
were.
up, and I just said,
Of course
this
you
is
were, 'cause
a
you're
really
crazy.
small example of how I don't feel seen, heard, or understood. And that was something that I kept bringing up in counseling, and he just kept not getting it. And even when I brought it up in therapy.
No, he gets it. It's stupid. What you're not getting is it's stupid. The things you're obsessing over are stupid. And they don't need to be discussed. You just need to get over them.
He looked at the therapist and he's like, I mean, but come on, do you really need, it's just.
Yeah, but come on. And if the therapist isn't backing him up, then you're with the wrong therapist. Then you're with one of these therapists that doesn't understand cluster B personality disorders and doesn't understand that she's got a borderline personality disordered woman sitting in front of her that she's enabling now.
It's a celebrity. Who cares? She really needs to
Exactly.
get a handle on her emotion.
You're goddamn right.
And it was 6 months later that I asked for a divorce because, of course, it never got better.
And if you guys want to know how she asked for that divorce, watch this video. It's mind-blowing. I'll post the link in the description too.
And I can look back now and say we were just a really bad match, but
I would say so. I would say you think you're a bad match because he doesn't play into your histrionic bullshit. You want an emotional man? Well, it's 5 years later. She ain't looking so hot. How's it working out for you, honey? Does this look happy?
it was that moment that let me think about the rest of my marriage up until that point and how he was never available for me emotionally. And I was always too much. So that's why I got divorced.
Yeah. If you're bringing into a counseling session that he didn't react good enough when Anthony Bourdain died, yeah, you're way too much. You're way too much.
No, sweetie, I think you got divorced because you were married to a grown man who acted like a grown man, while your ex-husband was married to a grown woman who acted like a child.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
They never, what do I say about these women? They never progress past the middle school lunch table. They never progress past the middle school lunch table. This is what the kind of thinking you would hear from a 13-year-old cheerleader, from her boyfriend. Justin Timberlake died and he didn't freak out with me, but I'm breaking up with him. That's what you would hear from a middle school teenager. That's the level. Let's see the original video, shall we? On to the next one.
When I decided that I was going to...
Got her fucking clam hanging out.
tell him that I wanted a divorce, I texted my...
And everything in this video is so scripted and so planned. Can't do anything. You can't hide the SSRI eyes. No matter what, you can't. The borderline can't hide her SSRI eyes.
therapist, our marriage counselor, and I was like, I need to tell him that I want a divorce, but I want to do it in a session so that there's like a mediator present.
Translation: she won in a 2-on-1 ambush.
Exactly, because she already knows her therapist is down with it, or Oh, she so wants to be a thing. She so wants to be hot. See, she thinks I'm telling you what's going on in her mind, because she is an attractive girl, not denying that, but she thinks that the body, all this, overrides her crazy, and it doesn't. It doesn't, and she's finding out that you're not hot enough to override crazy. You're just not, and she can't handle it. This is good.
Got us in like ASAP, like 2 days later. And I walked in knowing that I was going to ask for a divorce. And so we sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session?
Yeah, why? Why do we have, like, he's probably at the end now. He's like at the end of an emergency session because he's not acknowledging Anthony fucking Bourdain. This is the level of histrionics you got to go through with these lunatics. Stop sticking your dick in crazy. Listen, hot crazy exists. She's hot. Hot crazy exists. Believe me, I know. Hot crazy exists. Don't stick your dick in it. Don't.
Therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying, and I was like, I want a divorce. You know, it's hard for me to like.
What a clown! Look at her with this. Look at this with the. What a clown, bitch!
Say the words.
How disgusting!
And
like, you're gonna eat. She's gonna. She thinks she's so hot. This is all a shit test. Understand, this is all a shit test. She thinks her looks override all her histrionic borderline behavior. And what she's finding out is that it doesn't. And what you're seeing here is the cope. Is her cope that her hotness doesn't override her craziness. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm done. I want a divorce. He sat there quiet.
Who would do that? Who would do that other than a borderline sociopath?
I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold.
What did you want him to do? So you're not giving her the reaction she wanted. Because you know what? She really didn't want the divorce. She really didn't want the divorce. But she can't admit to herself that her hotness doesn't override her crazy. And that's what she's finding out. And that's what this is all about. This is all a cope because her hotness doesn't override the crazy.
And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? So he responded right away, and he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details.
Fuck it, let's go. She thinks she's like putting a point on this with that look, holding the fucking cookie. Like, she's a clown, and he's tired of the routine. You're not hot, baby girl, you're not hot enough. You're not hot enough. You're not hot enough to override your crazy. There is no such thing. He figured out, I'm going to stop stick. Either you're not going to be crazy or you're going to go. Or you're going to go bye-bye. Go away. It's not worth it. Do you know how many times he must have to look at this face, this reaction, because this dunce thinks she's making a point, that she's like making some kind of, it's all just emotional blackmail and emotional bullshit. What she's really saying is like, isn't my pussy worth it? Isn't my pussy worth the crazy? No. No, it's not. Go take another pill, baby girl.
And that was that. And I just was like, I looked at my therapist and I was just like kind of stunned.
Oh, what's wrong, Pookie? Did your plan to get him to lose his cool in front of a witness so you can use it against him in court fail miserably?
Probably. She can't believe it. Like, can you believe he's turning all this down?
It's sad, isn't it?
Like, I knew that I was ready to leave that day.
So what are you mad about? He's making it easy for you. You're not ready to leave. You weren't ready to leave. You were trying to use your vagina to control him. And once you found out that your vagina doesn't have the power you thought it had, look at the big sads. Look at the sads. She still can't do anything about these eyes, though. You can't hide the crazy. You can't hide the crazy eye. You can't. As much as she would like to, she can't.
But I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy. There was no compassion. There was no like wanting to fight for us, which...
Fight for what?
Fight for what?
To give you validation after you tried to rip his guts out in front.
Exactly. Why are you going to, like, again, you wanted the divorce and now you're mad. Like, he's not going to fight. You want him to grovel. And he didn't want it. He didn't want it.
of a stranger, or to give you ammo to use against him in court?
I don't think so.
No, this is a woman who thinks through her vagina, who thinks all her power is comes through her vagina, and when she finds out that that thing don't have the value she thought it did, this is what you get.
I didn't think that there would be, but you just always hope that like one last try,
You fucking pig. You pig.
At home that night, we didn't.
Could you, insufferable trying to have a conversation. Could you imagine what it's like trying to talk to this? Having to deal with all the histrionics, having to deal with the routine every time, and then the stupid looks and the stupid faces. And can you imagine what her freakouts are? If she's going to lose her mind over Anthony Bourdain dying, could you imagine what else she must lose her mind over? The torture this fucking guy had to endure.
Speak. He slept on the couch. I woke up and went to work the next day, came home. He was playing PlayStation that night. I sat next to him. We hadn't talked in 24 hours. And I said, can we talk about what happened yesterday?
No. Yeah. You wanted a divorce. What's it like? Again, one last try. I'm going to throw it at you one more time to see if you bite. No.
No.
He was just playing, just looking straight ahead. And he's like, what's to talk about? In my mind, I'm thinking,
Right. What's to talk about? What's to talk about? I'm not dealing. He's telling you. I'm not dealing with your histrionics anymore. I'm not dealing with your bullshit anymore.
this is our last ditch effort to like steer the ship around,
Wait. You said you went in, you wanted a divorce. Now it's a last ditch effort. Which is it? It's all a game. This is why you don't feed in to their bullshit, because they're liars. They lie to you, they lie to themselves. And she's trying to present herself basically saying, can you believe he's turning all this down? Yeah. Because your hotness doesn't outweigh your crazy. Sorry.
And I was like, so what are we gonna do?
Sweetie, if you actually wanted a last-ditch effort, you effed it up by telling him you want a divorce, because now the only options he has are either to divorce you and keep his dignity, or beg you to stay, in which case he becomes a spineless Sam! Yes, his dignity was more important to him than your box.
Yep.
And he just kept playing, and he was
Bottom
like,
line. His dignity, his respect is more. You're crazy. Your hotness doesn't override your crazy. Sorry.
I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. He had done things within that 24 hours.
She's stunned. She's stunned. She's stunned. She thought this was going to be her ace, and I'm going to leave. Go ahead. Bye. Then we're good. Good. Bye. He got sick of her. He got sick of the therapist. He got sick of the bullshit.
He had opened up the filing folder of his single man life and went ahead and got all this shit done.
Yeah, because men generally don't cry about their fifis like you do. They solve problems. You came to him with a problem. The problem was you didn't want him as a husband anymore.
He solved it.
So he solved your problem. Now deal with it.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
So, if you're interested, give Man Talk a follow. I mean, he's pretty popular. He's got 166 subs. So, again, these women, these borderlines, they think their hotness overrides their crazy. It doesn't. It doesn't. And the problem is, and the one thing that these borderlines can't do, they can't hide their SSRI eyes. They just can't do it. This guy dodged a bullet, and there she is, all surprised over Anthony But she's on TikTok, making content, trying to get people to feel bad for her, multiple videos, but you know, she believes it. She believes it. So thank you, Jason, for the contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, and email links in the description box below. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. Also, be sure to subscribe to both my channels on Rumble. Follow me on X and Telegram as well. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Societal Narcissism. Take care, everyone.